If I asked you which paint product you should manufacture first, most people would probably say emulsion paint. Yes. And that's exactly where many new entrepreneurs planning to start paint manufacturing business make their first mistake. What if I tell you that you could build a successful wall primer production business, become known for one product, and later grow into emulsion paint, satin paint, texture paint, and many more products? It may sound surprising, but that's exactly how many successful manufacturers grow. Not by making everything, but by making one product first. Today's training isn't only about wall primer. It is about learning how professional paint manufacturers choose the right product before they build a factory. Because choosing the right product can reduce your startup cost, help you stand out in the market, and create a strong foundation for your business. Sometimes success don't begin with making more products. It begins with making the right product. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Today's lesson is part of our wall primer product mastery series. In this series, we're exploring everything you need to know about wall primer, from understanding what it is to production, quality control, business opportunity, and professional factory system. If you would like to follow the complete journey, you will find the full playlist link in this video description below. So let's begin with today's training. Welcome to Glina Paint Education. If you are interested in paint manufacturing, paint production system, paint formulation, paint chemistry, or building a profitable paint manufacturing business, you are in the right place. Here, we don't just teach paint. We teach manufacturers how to think and operate like a factory, because formula can be copied, but understanding cannot. I once spoke with an entrepreneur who wanted to start paint manufacturing business. Their plan was to produce emulsion paint, satin paint, texture paint, and several other products all at the same time. So I asked one simple question: why not become known for one product first? That does not mean you are not going to learn all these other types of paint. That question changed everything. Instead of trying to compete with everyone, they begin looking for a product that solves a real problem in their local market. That's when they started thinking like a manufacturer. Here's what many people don't realize. In many countries, if you walk into a local paint shop and ask for wall primer, you may not even find it. Instead, many people are given emulsion paint and told to use it as a primer. Over time, that has become normal. But normal does not always mean it is the best solution. It has always caused many entrepreneurs to overlook a business opportunity hiding in a plain sight. So, why has wall primer become one of the most overlooked products in paint manufacturing? And why do professional paint manufacturers see it differently? To answer that, we first need to understand what wall primer really does and why choosing the right primer can change both your paint quality and your business. Let's go inside the factory. You see, before you decide to build a wall primer production business, you first need to understand what wall primer actually is. A wall primer is the first coat applied before the finishing paint. Its job is simple. It prepares the wall. Think of it as creating a strong foundation so the next coat of paint can perform better. Professional paint manufacturers don't see primer as just another paint. They see it as the beginning of the entire paint system. So, why don't more manufacturers produce wall primer? The answer is surprisingly simple. In many local markets, painters and customers were never taught why primer is important because demands appear low. Many paint shops don't stock these products. Instead, they recommend emulsion paint as a substitute. Over time, this becomes normal. But manufacturers don't simply follow what is normal. They ask a different question. What does this wall actually need? That question changes everything. Imagine two new paint businesses owner. The first business produces only emotion paint because everyone else does. The second business specializes in wall primer. Now imagine a contractor looking for a reliable primer before painting a large housing project. One business has exactly what the customer needs, the other doesn't. Sometimes success don't come from competing with everyone. It comes from solving a problem that others have ignored. Think about building a house. You don't start with the roof, you start with the foundation. Or think about planting a tree. Healthy fruits begins with healthy roots. Paint works the same way. The finishings paint may be what people see, but primer has prepared everything underneath. A strong finish begins with a strong foundation. This is where professional paint manufacturers think differently. Most beginners ask, what paint should I make? Manufacturers ask, what problem should I solve? One focus on product, the other focus on solution. That is factory thinking logic. And businesses build on solving problem often stand out more than businesses build on copying competitors. One common mistake beginners make is trying to manufacture every type of paint at once. Emotion paint, satin paint, texture paint, gloss paint, primer paint, everything. Professional paint manufacturers usually begin differently. They master one product, they improve it, they build customer trust, then they expand. Because growth follows consistencies, not confusion. Now, the biggest lesson here is this. Don't choose your first product because everyone else is making it. Choose it because it solves a real problem in your market. That is how business becomes brand, and that's how manufacturers build long-term success. Now that you understand why wall primer can become a smart business opportunity, the next question becomes even more important. If you decide to manufacture wall primer, which types of wall primer should you produce? Because not every wall needs the same primer and not every customer has the same problem. Let's build that understanding together. So, where should you begin? The answer might surprise you. Don't start by buying chemicals. Don't start by buying machine. And don't start by trying to produce 5 different paint products. Start by understanding your market. Ask yourself, who needs wall primer in my area? Are they contractors, painters, builders, real estate developers, or homeowners? Professional paint manufacturers don't begin with production. They begin with problem. When you understand the problem, you will know exactly what products to produce. That is the first step to building a successful wall primer production business. This is where beginners and professional manufacturers think differently. Beginners ask, what paint should I make? Professional paint manufacturers ask, what problem should I solve? That single question changes everything because businesses that solve problem becomes trusted, and trusted business continue to grow. Remember, anyone can learn to mix paint. Professional paint manufacturers learn to think before they produce. They understand customers, they understand cost, they understand quality, and they build systems that last. That is factory thinking logic. One thing I have learned over the years is that manufacturing is easier when people learn together. Every country has different raw materials, different weather, different work condition, different customers' expectation. That is why I encourage you to share your experiences. Your knowledge could help another manufacturer avoid an expensive mistake. If you're ready to move beyond YouTube teaching, our YouTube channel membership community is where we go deeper. You will see practical factory demonstration, production system, quality controls, troubleshooting, and advanced manufacturing lesson designed to help you build confidence before you start production. The link is always below in each of our video. You can go down there and subscribe to our YouTube channel membership to learn more exclusive paint formulation with the right chemicals. And if your goal isn't just to manufacture wall primer, but to build a complete paint manufacturing business, then the paint manufacturing business program, the PMB, is your next step. Inside the program, we cover production, factory system, costing, branding, marketing, sales, and how to build a manufacturing business that can continue growing long after your first product. Because successful paint manufacturers don't build business with formula alone, they build them with system. Today, we have answered one important question. Can you build a successful business by producing only wall primer? The answer is yes. But another important question remains. Not every wall needs the same primer. So how do professional paint manufacturers decide which wall primer to use for different walls condition? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next lesson. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you were starting your own wall primer production business today, would you begin with wall primer or would you still choose emulsion paint first? More importantly, tell me why. Your answer could help someone else see the opportunity from a different perspective. Remember, a formula tells you what to mix. Understanding teaches you why you are mixing it. But system helps you produce quality paint consistently and build a business that lasts. Here at Glina Paint Education, we don't just teach paint manufacturing. We help entrepreneurs think like a paint manufacturer, build better paint, and build profitable manufacturing business. So stop guessing, build system, think like a manufacturer. I am Coach Glina. Thank you for learning with Glina Paint Education. Until next video, keep learning, keep producing, keep building.